Ladies and gentlemen, today is a day for glory. Today, your hard work will finally see the rays of recognition. You have spent months, tremendous effort, and great commitment to these projects, these inventions. You started with just an idea, a small idea that only you could understand. Just a simple thought in your head could be used to solve the world's greatest problems. Since September, you have elaborated, researched, built, and explained your idea until today, it becomes a reality. Today, the world will get to see your inventions. Be proud of the value that your work has. Remember that your time, your sacrifice, your commitment is not for scoring a higher number on a test. This is not some competition to see who can recite more knowledge. This is an event where we will change the world. Look with pride on your accomplishments. Remember that the work you have put in for months will go to make a little girl smile, to make an old man laugh. Remember that your inventions, your shortcuts for convenience and efficiency, these will change how people live their lives. This event is not for a score. It is to showcase ingenious creations that will go to change lives. Be proud that you are literally changing the world. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a day for glory. It's time to finally meet the world's next creators. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever Massachusetts Invention Convention. This is being held here at the KTBYTE offices, where we will be showing 13 students with incredible inventions that are going to be competing next week at the Regional Invention Convention in New Hampshire. To start off, let's talk about what KTBYTE is as a whole. KTBYTE is a computer science academy that was founded 7 years ago by a few Cornell graduates. They teach computer science they teach computer science from beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels, and teach it primarily in the Java language. Now, until January 2017, KTBYTE only taught software classes. But that all changed when I founded the first ever robotics program. What we did is we created a program where we taught students how to use Arduino. Is everyone here in the audience, do they know what Arduino is? Yes? Okay, so I'm sure they know what Arduino is, but for those who don't, Arduino is a small microcontroller you can program to do a few tasks. So simply the main structure of it is it takes an input, does something to it, does an output. It's like a function table if you've seen those in math. But I know that, but basically these students, what they've done is they've taken this small structure and they've elaborated and built it to create these complex networks and complex algorithms that will make the inventions that you see today. So we first started teaching robotics to teach students how to use Arduino and learn not only the software but also the hardware. It started in the summer, just every Saturday for 2 hours, teaching 5 kids. And when September came, we realized that there was still demand for this program. People wanted to continue learning Arduino, and new students wanted to start. So we split the class into 2 classes, beginner and intermediate. This is what it looked like last year. So we created the beginner and intermediate classes, which taught both basic computer science for Arduino and more advanced complex topics of computer science. Now, of course, teaching these 2 classes 2 hours a week, that's a lot of time. And I couldn't have done it alone, so that's why we had 2 brilliant people who came up and approached me to become the next TAs and soon instructors of the KTBYTE robotics program. Those 2 are Arthur and Alex. Please come up here. So Arthur Zhang started as the first robotics TA back in September, just about 1 or 2 months after this program was founded, and he became the TA for the intermediate class. Next, the semester after that, he became the instructor for the beginner class. Around this time, Alex's son joined us, and he became the instructor of the intermediate class in 1 day. So that was pretty impressive. But anyway, these are for you two. To congratulate your help in this program. And these 2 will also be inventors today presenting their projects. Thank you. We created the beginner and the intermediate class. And students started in the beginner class, worked their way into intermediate, and then they came to advanced. So we were wondering, how could we create a program that could take students who have already learned these complex ideas in intermediate and still grow them further. So we came up with the advanced class. The advanced class is a project-based learning class that allows students to have an idea of some project they want to do and gives them the materials and the mentorship to build these projects and take them to these amazing competitions. Last year, the advanced class started as a pilot. We just wanted to see how it would go. And eventually, we decided that this class we should send these projects to the National Invention Convention, after realizing that these are not just Arduino projects, but they're actually world-changing inventions. So last year, we took our students to the National Invention Convention in Detroit, Detroit, Michigan, and there we won 5 awards total. And now we've come back in June, and we've continued the advanced program during the summer and during the fall of 2018. So back in July and even September, we started teaching these classes, teaching these advanced classes, and we've handpicked certain students to stay in these classes stay in these classes to learn Arduino and build their inventions. And these students, 13 students back here, these are the ones who you will be hearing from today. Now, one thing we must also mention is the numerous TAs who have been part of this program. Owen is the newest TA of the advanced program. He was jumped into the advanced class, which is very rare to have students come in when the class is already waitlisted, and he's became a TA and will remain being a TA in the future for future classes to come. Congratulations, Owen. Yeah, and also the same thing applies to Will as well, who is also a TA in this class. Will, you can come up as well. So Will, how old are you?
14.
14. What grade are you in?
8th.
8th grade. So Will, what class did you teach before?
Intermediate.
Intermediate. And now he's an advanced student who's presenting today as well. Now, one thing to mention is that the students who take these classes, they become the leaders. In the case of Owen and Will, they started in both beginner class, is that right? Either beginner or intermediate class. And they went through and became these new teachers. So generally what will happen is students will start in the beginning, either in beginner or intermediate. They'll work their way up the class level to advanced. They'll go to the National Invention Convention, they'll win, and they become the next, and they became the champions of this class. Then these students became the TAs of their own classes. And eventually, they became the instructors. Jonathan was started, what class did you start in? He started in intermediate, right? Advanced. Oh, yeah, he was he was the only student who ever made it straight to advanced without any prior classes. And he made it into advanced, and he did well in the regionals and nationals, and now you became the TA of which class?
I became the TA of beginner and intermediate.
And then you became the instructor of beginner, and now you're the instructor of intermediate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what started before as just three high school, middle school students has grown into this program where we take our own students and make them our instructors. Many of you out here will want to start in the beginner class in robotics. And maybe in a few months, you might be teaching the very class that you started in. This has happened with 2 students, both Jonathan and Boyan. Boyan unfortunately cannot be here today. And now they are the instructors of the new classes and have replaced Alex and Arthur and I, as we are getting very old. But without further ado, let's get to the main event that we're here for. The inaugural Massachusetts Invention Convention. This is the preliminary round to the Regional Invention Convention in New Hampshire, which is the Invention Convention for New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and part of Massachusetts, the northern half of Massachusetts. The main purpose of this event today is 2 things. One is to give you experience presenting in front of esteemed judges, an audience, and cameras. It's a lot of pressure, so when they're up here, make sure to give them a round of applause at the end, because they are going through tremendous pressure to be up here and present their ideas for nearly 4 minutes all alone. The other reason why we're here is for the feedback. We have a panel of 4 judges here who are to give incredible feedback to these inventions, and even the audience. If you want to give some feedback, you're free to give feedback as well. But primarily, most of the time we spend towards our panel of 4 judges. Let's get into who these judges are. The first judge is Mr. Andre Verner. After growing up in Belmont, Massachusetts, Mr. Verner studied at Sonoma College for Mathematics in Southern California. He then returned to the Boston area to teach at Lexington High School, where he has taught math at all levels for the past 16 years. Mr. Verner has pursued more advanced concepts in math at Harvard College as well. Along with teaching, he also enjoys cooking and learning about history. Let's give him an applause. The second judge we have here today is Mr. Veera Raghavan. Dr. Raghavan is a hands-on technology executive and business leader with a passion to positively change the world using technology and AI. He has held executive positions at Fortune 100 companies and has successfully founded, led, and grown startups resulting in significant exits to Apple, Motorola, and West Health. Raghavan is currently the president and co-founder of the Learning Corp, creator of the award-winning constant therapy app that uses AI to help people recover their brain function after a stroke, brain injury, or neurological disorders. The third judge we have, also our keynote speaker, is Professor Nicholas Fang. Nicholas X. Fang is currently a professor of mechanical engineering at MIT. He also serves as the chief scientist of BMF Material Technologies, a technological startup spin-off from his research group of 3D nano manufacturing and nanophotonics at MIT. That's one long word. His recognitions include the ASME Chow and Trigger Young Manufacturing Engineer Award, the ICO Prize from the International Commission of Optics, an invited participant of the Frontiers of Engineering Conference by National Academies in 2010. In addition to this is also the NSF Career Award and the MIT Technology Review magazine's 35 Young Innovators Award. Wow. We definitely in the presence of many great judges. But last but not least, we have our final judge, Mr. Ryan Lung. Ryan Lung is a current freshman at Harvard College with an anticipated concentration in applied mathematics and economics. He is from Lexington, Massachusetts, and has won the National Economics Challenge twice with the LHS team. Outside of school, Ryan is involved with the Harvard College Project for Asian and International Relations, and he's a part of the Harvard College China Forum. Anything else you want to add, judges? No? All right. So without further ado, we'll get into the presenters. Oh, thank you.